Morning, everybody. Morning, everybody. So, have you ever had your, say, half-inch impact out, and you're beating on a old bolt, rusty bolt and nut, and you know that you're so close to getting it apart, it's maybe starting to move just a little, but it's not going to happen. You know you got a couple options. One, drag out a bigger hose and bigger impact, drag out the torch, get a grinder, cut the thing off. But if you just had that little bit of air, you would have got it apart. Today I wanted to show you how we get the most out of our air tools, specifically the ones that run off a 3/8 airline. It's a simple fix. I mean, there's other stuff people use that'll work as well, but I really like the what we do to get the most out of ours. I think it works in the most universal application. Let me change this camera and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we all know that when it comes to air tools, you need more than just a high air pressure. You need as many CFMs as possible, cubic feet per minute of air. And so that isn't necessarily, that's not your say impact or tool itself. That's everything leading up to it. That's the air lines plumbed in your shop, the air hose going from the shop plumbing to your tool, but also it's in the actual fittings themselves on the hose. And so you'll see the normal standard, like especially if you go to like residential places or smaller shops, what you'll see is what they call M style fitting. It's got 1/4" pipe thread on the threaded end, and it's got that small short nipple after that that flared end there anyway. So anyway, that is like the most common. If you go to Home Depot or Lowe's or something, that's the fittings that they're going to sell. Very universal. But boy, the airflow is restricted there. You can have a 3/8 hose and it's going to get restricted at your fittings. So what our shop has done is for the most part, we've done away with these M style fittings and we've switched over to V style fitting. They look relatively similar, but check out the difference. I think you can see there pretty evidently that the M style is not going to flow nearly so much as that V style. So I looked up the numbers on these fittings to see, and so I can report to you exactly what the CFM difference is between these fittings. And so the generic common M style flows 40 standard cubic feet per minute. The V style that we upgraded to is 74 standard cubic feet per minute. That's a gigantic difference. I mean, nearly twice, obviously. So I would recommend that highly. Now here's the other thing that's really awesome about these fittings. Say you got a shop already completely fitted with M fittings. It can get a little expensive rebuying everything. It can be a little time consuming. It can be a little annoying if you got a tool that you only use a couple times a year. You forget to change the fitting, you got to use it and you got to switch out a fitting. Maybe you don't have any sitting around, you got to steal it from another tool. It can be an annoyance. So here's the awesome thing. This V style female coupler, it will plug in and work with the M style fittings. So all you got to do is make sure that all your female ends have this V style fitting, and then you change out the male fittings on your tools for the ones that it's going to make the biggest impact on. Your impacts and maybe die grinders, sanders, stuff like that. But if you got a blowgun, chances are you don't really necessarily need that, especially if it's just one of those little ones. Now, if it's one that's, you know, big, made for blowing out big air cleaners and stuff like that, okay, yeah, get the volume up. But if it's something where volume of air doesn't make that big a difference, yeah, you don't have to change that fitting out. So yeah, along with talking about air hoses and fittings, we really prefer the Flexzilla hose, 3/8 Flexzilla. If you guys haven't worked with that, it's pretty awesome. Cold temperatures don't affect it. Stays real pliable all the time. It's pretty durable. We just really like working with it. It cleans pretty decent. I hate dirty hoses. So the way we do it is we buy our 3/8 Flexzilla hose in 250 foot rolls, and so then, you know, we buy our fittings separate, barb fittings from a hardware store or something, you know. 250 foot hose you can cut to length. And then we use these little clamps here instead of hose clamps. I don't like hose clamps because they're big and bulky. They catch stuff, they'll scratch paint. So we use these little squeeze clamps, put 2 of them per barb, and then they make you know, this tool here to crimp these. Pretty simple. Crimp it down on both ends real tight, and you gotta clamp on there that's not doing back off and loosen and leak eventually like a hose clamp will. So anyway, that's my thoughts on air fittings and air hoses in our shop. We like what we do. Maybe you guys got some suggestions. Let me know what you think. But yeah, if you'd rather not drag out that torch every single time, try this, see if that helps. Talk to you later.